He says the best way out is always through, and I agree to that, or insofar as I can see no way out but through. Robert Frost. So somebody asked to me a couple months back for a book on discipline. I did suggest that person 5 different books. I found a few books that really helped me to understand and become more disciplined in my act. They have slight different purpose, but when their knowledge is combined, you get a powerful mindset to leverage. But mind you, I have read all these books on the list, and just reading and understanding about discipline or the topics in the book does not ensure that you will never have a problem about it ever again. Welcome back. Today we are discussing discipline. 99% of the time, whenever I talk about a topic, it's because I am trying to figure that out as well, or maybe I'm just struggling with it at the moment. From last couple of months, I've been struggling to get my act together because there are just so many things happening. Everything from moving to this apartment to the whole visa situation and a lot of personal things as well. On the outside, it might look like I have my act together, but I am still working on my discipline, trying to be more disciplined person when it comes to my work, even say food, exercising habits in all different aspects, and even financial discipline is something that I'm trying to work on. But again, I've been struggling, I've been falling down, but again, I try to stand up and get back into the flow, and again I fall down, I can back up and try to go on. Everything is a work in progress. Just because you read a bunch of books does not mean you are now free from your own imperfections. Life is all about living or trying to live a better life with embracing the imperfections or the nuances of life. You study different ideas, you take different philosophies and take what you can apply into your life, apply it, assess it, and maybe tweak it as per your necessity, and then improvise upon it. So it's always a work in progress. It's always you need to figure out how things would work. So even for discipline, I think even if you read all these books, you need to practice everything on a regular basis. So let's just get going with the book. The first one is 12 Rules for Life by Jordan B. Peterson. If you have not lived under a cave, then you might have heard or come across Jordan B. Peterson. He is this internet father figure, kind of, I guess. He just pushes all of his audience, or the people who listen to him, to become better in life, to figure out the issues that they need to deal with. One of the chapter in the book is clean your room. At first, it might sound simple, or maybe you might even shrug it off if you have never heard of him, but he goes into these great many detail about how a big change can happen if you try to fix things from the start.
It isn't a room, it's a place of potential. And as soon as you know that, then it's not your room anymore. The room that you see is your preconception of the space that you inhabit. What's there is a fragment of infinity. That's what's there.
So making your bed early in the morning or cleaning your room, which is usually a mess, might set you on the right track for the day or towards life. So start by cleaning your room. I think it's a bit dense book to begin with, but Jordan B. Peterson is a figurative father to many lost adults who felt guided by him. Think of Peterson as a father figure who is telling, asking, or even guiding you to improve your life through 12 disciplined acts mentioned in the book. The second book is The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. He is a fiction writer, but Steven Pressfield wrote this non-fiction for himself because even sometimes as a writer, he feels this resistance while he is trying to sit down and just write his work. Sometimes it's hard to do things even when we know what we ought to be doing. Pressfield breaks down why we do that is become indisciplined, and how we can be more disciplined despite the obstacles or resistance. This one is very helpful to creatives out there, people who don't have a typical 9-to-5 obligation, because if you have a typical 9-to-5 obligation, you would clock in and clock out. Although it's resistive in nature, you show up because that's what you do when you have a 9-to-5. But if you don't have a 9-to-5, if you are self-employed or are a freelancer working by the hour, then it's, if you don't clock in and if you don't clock out, you won't get paid. And it's sometimes you fall into these cracks where you stop sitting down and doing the work. And I definitely have fallen into one of those pits. The central theme of the book is around resistance and how we can overcome the resistance. It's hard to find in Nepal, so I had to read the digital versions. The third one is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. I listened to this in 2019, I guess, and I really liked it, so I got a hard copy and I am rereading some of the chapters. Ryan Holiday is clearly influenced by a lot of Stoic philosophers. He draws in a lot of ideas from the previous Stoic authors and even his own reflections on the topic. So where does this book fit into the spectrum? So say you are a disciplined person, everything is going on well in your life, but say suddenly something happened, something flipped. Maybe you're trying to do something and say the internet or the electricity went away. What do you do? As humans, it's typical for us to react and be pissed off at the electricity or maybe at the internet or maybe some other thing that pushes us out of our tracks, right? It's natural. We are reactive beings. We have a slow and a fast brain. So when something happens suddenly and interrupts our flow, we flip because our fast brain, our primal brain reacts. But we do also have a slower brain that can assess the situation and then react or maybe choose not to react. And whenever you have, say, an unfavorable situation or context, then you try to be as objective as possible because flipping out in the situation would not help anybody. Whatever obstacle you have in the way, try to think of some creative ways or some way out of the situation in which you leverage the problem itself. And hopefully by the end of it, you would be a better person, I guess. Because if we never have any challenges or obstacles in the life, we would never improve or be a better person. So a healthy amount of obstacles is necessary. And even Elon Musk says, if you're not failing, then you're not making progress. So having obstacles, failing and trying to solve it and then solving it and then moving on to the next problem or next obstacle is the way of life. And even Naval Ravikant says, in life, you just go from bad problems to better problems to solve. That's just life. No matter where you go in life, you'll always have problems, and the goal should be to have better problems, better obstacles to solve. Life is a puzzle or a set of obstacles, one after another. Either you sit crying about it or accept life for what it is and then improvise from there. Using obstacles in a counterintuitive manner will yield successes that you might have never imagined before. So let's just say you are a stoic person now. What do? You are stoic about everything. But still, you might struggle with things, right? With habits. How do you just sit down and work, right? Or maybe you try to sit down and work using your sheer will for a day or two, or maybe a week, or maybe a month. But after that, your motivation or your will might fizzle away, right? What do you do then? You'd want a habit to be as repetitive as brushing your teeth in the morning. So that's where atomic habit comes into the picture. This goes into depth of, instead of having goals, we need to have a system in place that keeps targeting a goal. So if you have a better system in place where you just come in every single day and the system is designed in such a way that it helps you just sit down and do the thing. For example, I have logged into this more or less frame for my videos. All I do is I have a camera, I have a light, I have the sound, and these are the three things that I always use to make a video. Right now it's not even scripted at all. So I have this system in place. This thing will stay in this corner for a majority of period of time. So having that system, it took me a lot of time to figure out that system, but having that system enables me to be more free, come up with an idea, sit down and just talk about it to the people, and that is more important for me. So the thing being, yes, I want to produce more videos on my channel for it to grow. So I can either have a goal, say X number of videos per week, or maybe I can have a system where I can come regularly and just keep talking about the things, and the system will automatically push me towards that number, if that makes any sense. So James Clear talks about building systems instead of setting goals and making tiny improvements on a regular basis so that you would be a much better person in that aspect which you are trying to improve. That's the kind of gist of Atomic Habits. Okay, the last one is Deep Work by Cal Newport. By name, it should be very clear that the author would suggest us to work deeply. In the modern context, in today's world, I think a lot of us are knowledge worker and we work with some sort of a computer. We sit in front of it and we try to focus into that screen and try to build softwares, write books, do designs, create music. So it usually happens in a space, in a screen. But a big problem is the context switching. I can open up a YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, and I can switch through hundreds and thousands of contexts within minutes. I can go from watching Earth from International Space Station to go deep down with submarine divers to the ocean. But before the era of internet, context switching was not a case. You would have to manually get a book or a magazine and flip through it, or watch a broadcast or listen to a broadcast on radio or television, wait for it to finish, so that then you could change the context. Or maybe you change channel and then you switch the context. But again, you were limited with few number of channels. But with the advent of internet, it's very easy to switch context and be bombarded with notifications, with calls, with messages, with emails. And in this kind of situation, how can you focus and work on a thing? It's an aspect of being disciplined, that is keeping your notifications away, or maybe using a sound cancelling headphone so that you won't be disturbed with traffic. This is the final book that I recommend in this series of being a more disciplined person. The book goes into why you should work deeply and what are the benefits of doing so and how you can do it. But that being said, I hope you have a good time listening to this. And this video is sponsored by Deathbed. Now, Deathbed is an app that I recently made and published. Deathbed is basically an average life expectancy calculator. So say I am X amount of years of old, and based on what's my gender, where I live, there's a certain average expectancy of population in that area. So this app just gives you your amount of years that is statistically left on your clock. And you can use this app to calculate the amount left for your loved ones as well. And mind you, it might be a little shocking, because seeing the numbers, some sort of a tangible number, although being an estimation on the paper or on the app, is I don't know, I was definitely set aback when I calculated the numbers for my family. I just hope it helps you with realization, because all of us have our dreams and goals and hopes of being successful in life one day, right? Someday we want to be successful, and we kind of work towards it. But the idea that we will be successful someday kind of takes away that burden from your soldier, saying maybe you can rest today, maybe you can work tomorrow, because you are working for your dream and you will eventually reach to your dream, right? I always felt that in my early 20s that success is around the corner. I just need to work a little bit for my dreams, and I'll be doing my dream job, I'll be in my dream city, dream country, I'll be doing everything, just it might take a while, just a few years. But I'm now in my late 20s, and a lot of time has gone by, and I still don't feel that I have achieved or realized my dream. It only feels farther and farther away. But the fact that we don't have eternity kind of puts you onto a seat and shows you, hey, you got these many years statistically, so you better work towards your dreams, your goals, your aspirations smartly, because hopefully you would want to celebrate it with your family members, right? So yeah, that's my idea behind this app. You can go to deathbed.app and get links to download it for your platform. I would love to hear what are your feedbacks on the app. And as always, if you made it till here, you are an absolute legend, and I salute you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.